welcome back to the channel. I'm back with another issue with the Sprinter today. So we were driving back from a spring break trip, and suddenly the air conditioner just went out. The rear AC was still working, so it wasn't horrible, but with the sun coming through the dash and with no AC, it was just really hot. I was able to order all the parts from Mercedes, and they came in the mail yesterday. So anyway, we'll get started. Hey, also, I get a lot of comments on my previous videos where I deleted the exhaust filter. Just to kind of give you guys an update on all that. There's the downpipe and the O2 sensor. There's my ECU. Everything has been working great. I will say there has been a recall that I just found out about today about Mercedes and the exhaust system on this particular model from 14 to 16. And so I haven't really gotten to the details of that, but it looks like maybe Mercedes realized there was something wrong with their exhaust. And, either way, I went ahead and just fixed it myself, which is kind of my style. If I got a problem, I fix it myself. Anyway, let's get busy. So if you find yourself with your front AC out, your compressor is right here. It's going to be on the driver's side, and that right there is one of the hoses going into it. So it's kind of hard to get the camera down to it, but it's right here. So that's going to be replaced. I'm also going to replace the expansion valve right here. This is the expansion valve. You see this little round thing on the end of it. And then the dryer should be right about here behind all this stuff. So here are the few of the parts I've got. We're going to put a new compressor on, which this is the I believe the culprit. I was able to use my Greenlee here to test the signal coming from the switch, and it's getting good signal, good power, but when you try to turn it on, it starts momentarily and then does not work. And I confirmed that with a set of gauges. So we're pretty sure that it's the compressor is going bad. I've got some tools laid out, probably not everything I need. I also have a bottle of PAG oil. I'm using PAG 46. There's multiple types of PAG oil. This is the oil that goes inside your AC compressor. And you know that because it says right here on the sticker, ND Oil 8, which is code for use PAG 46. So if you are wondering, this is a 2015 Mercedes 2500 with a high roof AC unit, and this is the main cabin compressor that we're going to be going on here. It calls for 6.4 ounces of oil in the system total, so we're going to put that in here in just a little bit. And got a tray here. I want to be careful when I remove everything to want to find out, weigh the amount of PAG oil that comes out, so I know how much PAG oil to put back in. But before we get to that, we got to get all this taken apart so we can actually do the work. So figuring out how to do all that right now. All right, I just want to kind of let you know, okay, so this comes out of here, and there's one on the other side, and then you got these little things right there. And that's what they look like, completely unmangled. See, they've got these little places where you can put like a flathead screwdriver in there. Well, it seem like they make a bazillion of these different types, and you got to figure out how they come apart. So this is how it comes apart. You got to get it that far out. That's about a 1/2 inch out, and then it allows these pieces to squeeze together to slide out of that hole. So if you're pulling on this outside piece, right, and you can't get it all the way out, it's gonna be a booger. And what I'm afraid of is this thing is gonna break off. So there's those little marking right there, let you know how far it's going out right there on the. All right, I put a little bit of lubricant on there and was able to get these out much easier. So let's see, that one might come right out. No, they're still in there pretty tight, but now they're at least gonna release. So that's the way you get these out without breaking them. All right, so this right here, there's a screw right here, and then one of those plastic push pins, and took that out and just pulled on it, and the whole thing comes off like that. This right here comes out from this right here, like that, and this little, you push this bottom tab down hard, and wiggle it, comes loose, and then and the light switch, you got a tab right here, pretty simple, like that. All right, you got some bolts here that's got to come out, one there, and then we're gonna take these out all here for the license plate. We're trying to get this grill off. It's been a booger. So just so you know, you do not have to remove this trim. We did that. Let me show you what you're trying to do here. These clips right here on the bottom of here are grabbing underneath here, underneath this little line here. So you see this one last one, maybe two, right there and right there. So if you just push down on them, it'll release. You're gonna push down right there, and there it goes. That's it. All right, we're taking the last bolt out right here. So you got a bolt right there, and that's the other side right there. Once you get the grill off.
Here we go.
All right. And now we're gonna take this off. Come off now. Oh, look down in here. You gotta have some. We got some wires here, so that's gotta come out. I don't know what that is. We got a sensor here. Oh, don't let it fall off that shit. No, you just hold the camera. I got it.
Okay. There we go.
All right.
There we go.
That's the bumper. Yesterday we got the bumper cover off and the grill off, and so we got to keep on working. We're trying to get this these fans off, and there's like this. I guess this is a shroud or the mounting bracket that the fans go in, but these things right here have to come out, I believe. So there's 2 bolts. Just took those out, and this should pull straight out. There we go. And then that looks, I think I gotta take that one out right there, and there's one on the other side right here. So we're gonna take this thing out, which is where looks like that's the horn. So we'll get that out next. And then, so while we're, we got my number 2 turning this bolt out here. I'm gonna go over this. You're gonna need an E10. This is one of these style, and then I'm using a lot of this. This is a T20, so that's one of these. All right, so we've got this the fans off, and this is what we're trying to replace right here. But they have put the screw on the backside where you can't get to it. So it's way up in there. And it's not even in focus. You can't, it's so close. So I've got, this is the smallest thing I've got. I'm gonna see if I can get this in there. We'll see. I don't know how I'm gonna get that out, but that's gonna be tough. We're gonna do a little bit of extra work here. We're gonna clean off our radiator and intercooler since we got access to it. Probably hadn't been cleaned since we got it. I cannot get on the back side of this screw, so I believe this just kind of clips on. So I'm going to leave it on here for now and see if I can get this off after I release this bolt down here. This is what I'm going to be using to get it off with, and this is a T40. Gotta take this off. Now I'm trying to do this quick because I don't want to get moisture in the system if I don't have to. I think that's better. There it is. I think that's perfect. There we go. Okay. All right, we got the new dryer on. So I'll do the expansion valve, and then we'll be underneath there getting to that compressor down in there. All right, let's get started. I wasn't able to record me changing out the expansion valve, but here is me trying to explain what I did after I got it done. This Pagel will absorb water, and you don't want to get any kind of moisture in your lines. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm in Florida and it is always hot and humid. So I was trying to get this expansion valve replaced as soon as possible. So right here, you gotta, let's see if we get the camera to focus on it. I don't know if it will. There it goes. So that comes off, and then behind that, you got 2 screws that go to the inside of the van where this expansion valve joins these the high pressure and low pressure hose, and you've got this little Allen wrench. I don't even know what size this is. There's no markings on it, but this is the one. It's a little bitty Allen wrench, and so I was trying to use this with this piece that, I don't know if you can tell, but it broke off with my ratchet here. So it broke off and got stuck in there. Luckily I was able to, this is the only pair of any kind of pliers that I have. They're not really meant for it, but I was able to use that to grab it and grab the broken piece out of there with this, and then and pull it out. So I was able to put these on, but it was just a I don't know, it took a lot longer than I thought. So anyway, it is on there. So we will see how it goes. All right, so right here and right there, I've loosened those 2 up, and these are the lines coming in from to and from the compressor, so they're loose. So now I'm going to go underneath the car and see if I can start working the compressor itself loose. I'm going to have to find out where this the belt tensioner is, and so anyway, I don't really have a good tripod right now to give you good camera angle, but I'll try to come back and show you what I do after I do it. All right, so got 3 bolts here to come off, and there's one. And see if I can hold this. 1, 2, and then there's one. I don't know if I can get to it. There's peeping around the corner right there. See that one right there at the end of my finger there. So those 3 got to come out. All right, this is from the top of the vehicle, and that right there right in the center of the screen is where you're gonna put a wrench on, and that's gonna, I believe it's I want to say it's a 15 millimeter, and then you can put a bar on that, and then that'll help get your that's your tensioner, so you can put the belt back on and take it off for the compressor. I was unable to record the process of me taking the compressor out, so I'm just going to play this time lapse for you. But it's pretty much straightforward. You just take those 3 bolts out I showed you. You're going to pull out the high and low pressure hose, and then unplug the well, I guess you want to unplug the wire first, the switch wire and the power wire. So and then, you know, with the tensioner that I showed you before, you let the tension off, it comes right out and should drop right down below, and then you just do the reverse to put it back. These are all the tools I used. I used a 14 millimeter. I used a 17 millimeter on the tensioner, the belt tensioner, and then used my 19 as leverage. Had a couple of different extensions, 3/8 extension, another 3/8 extension over here, ratchet, 14 millimeter. I used a 10 millimeter to turn some of these Torx bits over here. I just don't have the right amount of assortments for the links or whatever. But these are, I think they start at T20. There's a T30. Anyway, you're gonna need an assortment of those. If you're working on a Mercedes, you're gonna need those. And then the opposites right here, I've got these. You're gonna need a set of those. I think the one I used was this one here. This is an E12. This is just the adapter that goes on my 3/8 ratchet to plug these into. When you take this thing apart, you're gonna have to really keep up with how much oil comes out of the system, because how much oil comes out is how much oil you got to put back in the system. I think the total amount of PAG oil, Mercedes calls for 6.4 ounces for this particular model. So I was really careful when I was taking things apart. I was trapping all the oil and everything to, you know, I could keep measurement. I believe I lost about 4 ounces. So I did my best to put 4 ounces back in there. You're forced to put oil into the compressor, but the compressor can only take about 1.5 ounces of oil. I couldn't get it to take any more. So what I did was I poured the rest into I believe it was the high side line going into the compressor, and it took all of it. And then when I put it back to the compressor, none of it poured out, or at least if it was going to, it didn't pour out fast enough. So that's the thing. You got to make sure you keep the same amount of oil that was in there is how much it needs to go back in there when you're done. Now I'm a DIYer. I've got a lot of tools, but I do not have a vacuum pump or any of the equipment to charge the system. So I've done everything I can do myself. I put all the bolts back in place how they came off. put all the little plastic push clips back in, connected all the connectors back into the, I got all these, some of these screws and these push-ins. Got all this put back in place. I can put everything, air filter, all that put back in place. So tomorrow I'm going to be taking it to the a local independent mechanic, and he's going to charge my AC, and hopefully I don't have any leaks. All right, so I guess that's going to be a wrap for today's video. I know it probably wasn't as informative as some other videos, but at least if you get something out of it, great. If you don't, well, enjoy. Thanks for watching, and catch you later. Bye.